Your brother. Did you and he get along?
We got along how brothers do. He used to throw water on me to wake me up in the morning. I used to fill his boots with stinging ants.
My own brothers and sisters are doing very well for themselves, back in Tekoa. I don't know that they'd search for me if I were killed so far
Hey.
from home.
Brothers can be funny. I bet you'd be surprised how far they'd go.
To the end. We are gonna go talk to those upstairs.
Welcome.
Back again, I see. Did you buy a March steel dagger from Igrin? I did, and a fine piece it is. I don't know if any more circulating in the city. Outside the steel in the Crucible Keep, of course. How much? I was trying to get it for a kid named Gordy. A kid? This isn't a toy, you know. Get him a wooden sword. Come on, Wexel. If our friend is willing to pay, what's the harm? Plenty, actually. That kid'll probably poke his eye out. Besides, I plan to use this dagger. How much would it take for you to change your mind? Seeing as how there's a sudden demand for this, 100 pans seems fair. How much is 100 pans? Sure, deal. 100 copper, okay. Pleasure doing business with you. Nice. That's a lot to do for a kid that wants us a dagger, but I guess we will do it for him. It's right here. Did you get it? Do you have the dagger? Can I see it? Here it is. It's so sharp. Slowly hold out the dagger, pommel first. Listen first. When you're not using it, keep it sheathed or it will rust. Don't show it off or someone's going to take it away from you, or worse. It's a weapon, not a toy. Understand? I'll take good care of it, I promise. So about that secret. I saw one of the actors hide something under a loose stone near the theater. Probably nothing as good as a March steel dagger, though. Thank you. Bye.
Hey.
Where was that? Loose brick by the theater. Okay.
Quietly now.
This is the theater, is it not? I think so.
Yes?
Hey.
Oh, there it is.
Look there.
Oaken Scarab figurine. Black Sun Amethyst. Lizzie. Elizabeth Murphy. What did I just get? This wooden beetle has had lifelike detail carefully burned into the carved shell. Tiny barbs are etched onto its legs, and its folded wings bear mazy patterns. Summon 3 wooden beetles, 1 per rest. Okay. That's crazy.
Hey.
We didn't go up here. Let's stop sneaking.
I could while away hours in here. If we had the time, of course. Do we?
Fexa. Welcome to the Hall of Revealed Mysteries.
Gods keep you.
You're welcome to browse the stacks, but mind that you keep your voice down. This is still a temple after all, and Grimda doesn't tolerate disorder. Tell me about yourself. I am a scrivener and a devotee of Whale. It's my duty to look after our records and resources. Anything else? This is a temple? It looks like a library. That's because it is. Whale is the god of mysteries and answers, encryption and decryption, concealment and revelation. Its guidance comes from the understanding of the unknown and the protection of hidden knowledge. The Hall of Revealed Mysteries was built to celebrate that. To think there's such a place in the Deerwood, incredible. I'd love a glimpse of the archives. How many secrets must sit upon these shelves? Fascinating. Isn't it? Temples dedicated to Whale tend to hold vast stores of knowledge. We use that knowledge to unravel and preserve the mysteries of the world. Who is Grimda? Why, she's the highest archivist. She's one of the most accomplished scholars alive today. Nothing goes on here without her knowing about it. Almost nothing, anyway. You should probably tread lightly around her today. Most of this I will not be able to get.
Good day, stranger.
An elderly dwarf surveys the stacks. Her skin looks as tough and wrinkled as walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down her nose at you. You're welcome to look around, but let the priests and scriveners continue their search. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. Tell me what they're looking for, maybe I can find it. And I could trust you to bring it back, I suppose? You certainly couldn't do worse than this lot anyway. Thieves made off with an ancient scroll of Whale. They intend to blaspheme by selling that which should remain hidden, a secret of the 100 Visions. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in their interrogation. All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse and the road to Deerford. Track the thieves down. I don't care what you do with them, but bring back the scroll. Whale rewards the persistent seeker, and so do I. An ancient scroll of Whale, that's a fine prize. I mean, a worthy task. What else do you need? Tell me about yourself. I am the High Archivist of Hall of Revealed Mysteries, and I am too old and too busy to be bothered with inane questions. Even just one or two? I'd like to know more about Whale. That's the rub, isn't it? Whale is the god of things hidden and revealed. The more of the 100 visions one sees, the more one has yet to discover. Though we often call Whale he who sees and is not seen, it is neither male nor female. To assign any definitive characteristic to Whale is to miss another essential part of its divinity. 100 visions? A term of reverence for Whale's many revelations. Despite the name, they are infinite. Each epiphany leads to yet another enigma. And I thought I was busy. What do you know about the thieves? Very little, except that they were foolish to believe they could steal from the god of secrets. That, and they were fleeing to a farmhouse. What's so special about the scroll? Whale is the god of secrets. If I told you that, I'd cheapen it, wouldn't I? It's a parable, the kind that nourishes the inquisitive mind and poisons the foolish. I'll return with the scroll. Alrighty. I think we should go to the world map. First, this is not an exit, this is another thing. Let's do this first. And we have to go there. Let's do that first. This.
Hey.
Alrighty.
The dozens may not like us foreigners much, but they certainly don't mind taking our coin.
Winning. Winning? Who's this? Looks like a conquistador. A well-groomed man steps through the hall with a confident swagger, a smug grin etched on his face. He is flanked by 5 other hard-looking individuals. One of his companions eyes you for a moment before spitting chew at your feet. Another pup comes wandering in, I see. Just know that Vine's giant slayers run things around here, and you'll be fine. Never heard of them. You have now. Stick around to find Spay, and you will again. Plenty of bounties to go around, but there's a reason the giant slayers got the lion's share. Remember that. Enough jabber, Vine. You gonna do the job or talk about it? Winning's right. That coin ain't gonna collect itself. See you around, pup. Okay. Daggers mark the locations of various Ingwithan ruins. Notes posted around the map list bets on current expeditions.
Don't stand on ceremony. State your business.
Tell me about the dozens. Good men and women trying to walk in the footsteps of great men and women who came before us. We're a loose association of warriors and expeditionaries in the Deerwood. Not as fancy as the Crucible Knights, mind you, but at least we remember our roots. At least they remember someone else's roots and pretend to be like them, he means. Your roots? The Crucible Knights take pride in having won the Deerwood's freedom 150 years ago, but we're the ones who've protected it. Everyone knows that the Saints' War ended when the Godhammer destroyed Waidwen at Evondir Bridge. A lot of folks don't know how Waidwen wound up on that bridge. 7 men, 5 women, they walked out of Halgot Citadel and faced down a god, held him there until the bomb went off. That's the legacy we defend. Some call us mercenaries, but we don't need matching armor and silky cloaks to remember our roles. We're the same now as we were then. We stand up for the people. First line of defense, whatever it takes. We got new enemies now. If it's not Waidwen, it's his damned legacy. It's the soul butchers in Brackenbury making things worse on all of us. Probably causing the whole thing one way or another. Well, we haven't gone anywhere, and there's a lot more than 12 of us now. We defend Deerwood once. We'll do it again. What else do you need? Looking for
Go
work.
see Osric. He's usually got something. You do well for him, maybe I can find you more.
Okay. Looking for Osric.
For the last time, Aidwig, keep your fucking blade up! If that dummy was armed, it'd have your head off!
Looking
You
for
want an
work.
expedition? Talk to Wenin. I just handle these mercenary shit shovelers! Adventurers, I mean.
Okay. Although, I do have something I need done. Something that requires competence.
I
done?
was formerly one of the Knights of the Crucible. When I left, they kept my arms and armor. The arms they can have, but the armor belonged to my family. I'd like it back.
Why don't you just go ask for it?
No. Oh, they'd like that, I'm sure. But I won't be going. Sooner be torn apart by dogs than give them the satisfaction.
Doesn't sound like leaving the Crucible Knights was your choice.
You don't choose to leave knighthood. The Crucible Knights, they may not be a real knighthood, but the oaths you swear are just as true. Still, turns out that even unofficial knighthoods have politics. You cross the wrong man, suddenly all kinds of accusations are thrown your way, and nobody believes you.
Nothing more destructive than a crowd with the wrong idea. What's this armor?
It's a breastplate. Not much to look at, and it's seen far too much use, but it's been in my family since the liberation.
Let's see what I can do.
Then it's Penhelm you're looking for. A low snake of a man. If he was to die choking on his own black tongue, it'd be too kind of fate. He kept it when he had me kicked out.
I got word from a reliable source that Penhelm visited a forger in Andra's Gift right after having his soul lineage read by a cipher in Dunrid Row. Should you have it in your heart to find a way to ruin his life while you're there, well, drinks on me. Having his soul lineage read?
It's a requirement to join the Knights. They have to ensure a novitiate doesn't have a subversive lineage. If Penhelm's superiors found out his affidavit was a fake, his career would be over. Every novitiate gets an affidavit from Dunreed Row, and those are stored at Crucible Keep. If you find Penhelm's, one of those ciphers could tell you if it's real.
If generations of Masuk's traditions are any indication, this Penhelm probably doesn't remember it. Still, a past like that has to count for something. Got business with me? No. Sunild.
How do you do?
Haven't seen you before. You headed out with an expedition company? Or are you betting on one? How long have you worked here? Oh, a few years. I got in the minute the last merchant cleared out. They've got new expeditions venturing out every week, so this is a great place to do business. And the dozens make loyal friends and loyal customers, so long as you stick by them. The vendor who was here before me, they ran him out while he sold his best helms to a pair of crucible knights. I've been careful not to make the same mistake. Can I buy something? I'm afraid not. See, the dozens only do business with me so long as I only do business with them, and they're good customers. But if you get on Osric's good side, he could make an exception for you. He's probably training some of the new recruits right now. Can't buy anything or sell anything to her. Still do this quest for Osric. Go do this, and then we can venture out. Maybe get the stolen scroll. No, that's a whole other area. So we will not be doing that. We are gonna go up this direction. Make sure we're not missing something. No. So, what did, sorry. Grimda said that one of the thieves mentioned an abandoned farm on the path to Deerford. Where's Deerford? There's Deerford Village, so I'm guessing it's on the way over here. So let's get over here. A farm. So how are we doing on this? 17 hours. We will be done with our barracks. Over here. Oh, it's raining.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Feral Druid. Be careful here.
I'm here.
Three feral druids. Okay. Oh my gosh. This isn't going to go well. Oh. Oh.
Oh, fuck.
What are you doing, Kana? Hmm? And nice. You.
Hey,
Can't get a good shot with this.
You go ahead and. Ooh, I needed to rest. Stunned. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. Nope, 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 nope.
Following.
You what?
Get him!
Alright. Nice. Phantom has low endurance.
Get on! Can't get a good shot with this.
Huge. A lot of fine equipment. Fine hide armor. Potion of Elder Chain. Spirit Shield. A lot of money. Fine hunting bow. Plus 4 accuracy, plus 15% damage, plus 8 accuracy. I think the hunting bow is better than this. Let's go ahead and rest.
hey,
Forgot to do that in town after save and damage reduction. Ooh, you got it all.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sneak up on you. Well, you seemed preoccupied.
You seem preoccupied.
Mad old watchers, a cult on our trail. What's not to worry about? I suppose I've just noticed you acting a little, unusual lately. Talking to people who aren't there, remembering flashbacks of your previous life. I just want to make sure you're doing all right.
I guess I don't know what to make of this either.
Then I'm in good company. I should let you rest. It looks like we'll have another full day tomorrow.
Indeed. Ooh, the barracks are finished in 5 hours.
Slow and silent. Ready, Watcher.
Elder Lion.
I'm here.
What?
Metal!
We'll get something later, okay? Elder Lion Fang. Lion hide.
Quiet. All right, then.
Oop.
Ready, Watcher. Shadow! On.
Hey.
Quietly now.
Goodness. A lot of lions. I've literally stumbled onto the lion's den.
Ready, Watcher. Shadow! On.
Brave Falcon.
Dead on!
Daddy,
But
I don't know the batteries.
yeah. Oh, we'll put batteries in them later.
Look. Hey, look.
Okay. Back in the
I shall be
stealth mode.
discreet. Hey.
Looking for a farmhouse. I don't know if it's here or not.
Ready, Watcher.
What?
Dillimgan. Two lionesses.
How may I help?
You go ahead and mark that. That. Small heal. Knock down. Okay, stop picking on my ranger.
Ready. a good shot.
Following your lead. Stand still!
Hey,
Hello? Hello?
all right then.
What's here? Ambush, maybe? Dead end. Water. Arabius. Arabius? Chewing on a piece of uncooked meat, a small Orlan dressed in tattered leathers offers a mumbled greeting and waves his hand. Despite his pleasant smile, the upper right portion of his face is in a sorry state. An eye patch stitched with a stylized eyeball wraps around his head. In his ear is a mangled remnant that twitches and spasms while the other ear perks up at your approach. Next to him is the splayed carcass of a deer that appears ripped open by a bear or wolf. You hear a gurgling rumble next to you. Sagani places her hand on her stomach. Her eyes are on the carcass, still fresh. Itumok's pink tongue rolls out of his mouth.
If this is your deer, you need a new game warden. Name's Heravius. Hungry? I can't eat all this. First catch of the day, help yourself.
You killed that deer?
One ornery Stelgar. Though looking at the deer's insides, it had a malformed but delicious heart, and would have been dead within the year regardless. Gallowayne chose a fitting end for this fine animal. Pardon me, I shouldn't pray with my mouth full.
What brings you here?
Other than the delicious venison, new trees to document, new animals to sketch, new sights to be seen. I've learned as much as I can from the druids of my circle. I'd rather wander and learn than take root and stagnate. So if you're traveling to Deerwood and need another set of hands, I'd welcome the safety of a group.
He's a druid. Go on.
I'm trained by the celebrants of Hawk and Ivy of the Fisher Crane tribe. I know more than my share of nature magic, and, well, I don't shy away from a good fight. I have business with the druids that live near Twin Elms. So long as we find ourselves there eventually, I'm happy to follow along.
I'm not going to put him in my party right away, but I can tell him to join us, and I can put him in, assume him, and send him back to the keep.
Splendid! It'll be an honor to run with the pack for a change.
Yep, that's exactly where I want him. Yeah. I like this party setup. So I can eventually pull him in if I want to do his quest.
And what does the flame reveal?
Oh. Some sort of rune. The starlight illuminates a pattern in the ground. You kneel to get a better look. The stone here has been carved with a few simple shapes. A small circular indentation marks the center, and a much larger circle surrounds it. You see what appears to be writing above the two circles. Look at the circular indentation. The indentation is shallow and smooth. It looks like it was intended to hold something specific. Examine the outer circle. Several shapes have been carved along the outer ring. Though most have been worn away, you can make out a crescent above the center. Examine the writing. The characters are completely foreign to you, no doubt the remnants of some long-forgotten language. Wait a while. You wait for a few hours, watching as the stars wink and glow overhead. Aha! Character construction complete. Now, what's next? So this will give me further upgrades. You get a perception bonus when resting, so that's a resting bonus. Lore bonus, resting bonus. Dungeons of Cadnua contain 9 cells. Upgrading the dungeons will allow you to take prisoners during your travels. Purchasing the merchant stalls will allow for merchants to sell general goods in your great hall. Look at a couple of good ones. These all require something. Survival skill, resting bonus. Athletics bonus, resting bonus. Home is only as comfortable as its hearth. Restoring yours may return a semblance of order to the keep. I don't know what that means. Purchasing this upgrade will restore the lab. Repair the courtyard. This seems cosmetic. This is probably something to do with crafting. Or enchantments. I don't know what this means. We've got some resting bonuses. Sell goods. Take prisoners. I mean, that sounds cool. Why not?
Keeping an eye out.
Let's go. Oh, one of those things.
Ready, Watcher. After an Itamok. Can't get
Three
a good
piercing.
shot with this.
Oh my. What is happening over here? Infestation of maggots. Okay. Probably not good.
Good shot.
Yeah. Life, Lizzie. 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 Give him the game. Let's see. Here. You guys take care.
I'm here.
You're doing pretty good there.
Get him!
Yep. Oh. Got him. Infestation of maggots. No joke.
Nice and quiet. All right, then.
Okay. So nothing much there. Wait for dinner. Winged helm.
All right, then.
What? Lay a rimmon. Lay a rimmon. Head north first. Um, Go to Deerford Village, I guess. Blood Barath, Deerford Mill, Dracogen Inn, Frygill's Curriery, Indina's Apothecary, Grieving Mother, Winfrith's Farms and Armory. Must be wanting Beodmar. He's out of town. I'm just keeping the candles lit until he gets back. An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figures standing near him fall silent.
Welcome.
Greetings, Blazes. You've just come from the village, have you? How bad was it? How bad was what? Haven't you heard? There's a murder on the loose. Said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollow-born. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here? She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is, she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we'd like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. Her name's Nifri. She's an Orland. We want to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her that it is safe to leave, I could draw her out, I guess. She won't know you, so it'll be simple. What did Nifri do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay, alright?
Welcome.
Gods keep you.
You've recently come to Deerford, I take it. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. Who is she? Lady Elise. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Harond, and she's gone missing. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Harond at the inn. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they have to us. The mill slowly grinds away at a trough of grain. Sid. Always a
Greetings.
Sid. First time at the Dracogen? Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I can tell you about it all the same. Sure. Oh, excellent. These rustic fables are always great fun. Let me get out something to write with. It was built in the time of Hadrit's rebellion. An Aediran lady they knew once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the Empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrit's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. The inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thanu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place while the locals built their new town. I take it something went wrong? Dear Woodins are an ornery lot, and the more these new neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't agree on much beside ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glamfathens and their nearby ruins. Adred's knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings that had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after the lord. Soon the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Adrians. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of the Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the Guided Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glamfathen tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused.
Just playing the game.
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
We're decent folk, my lord. Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
Hail, traveler!
Don't see many travelers these days. Something I can do for you? What was your exchange with that nobleman about? Folk round here's decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in it? Go talk to him yourself. I have a question about Deerfish. Ask. Have you seen an Orling called Nifri? Twitchy lady, that one. Okay. Who lives in Deerford? Not many anymore. Hard to keep people around when everyone's here is birthing Hollowborn. But we got a few who stick around and do business. Trigal's the leather courier. Indina's crafts potions, and Winfrith's trades in general goods. Rumbald's a pig farmer, or was anyway. Something happened to Rumbald's pigs, I take it. Ogre carried them off. Now he squeals more than his herd ever did. It's rotten luck. About that ogre. You don't hardly see him close to town. Ogres and kith don't mix well. Ugly, but they're smart enough to know that much. You want to know more? Talk to Rumbald. His farm's southwest of here. Let's see what rooms you have. I'll sleep in the stables.
Hey,
Lord Harond. The man wears Adir stalled robe, simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look like they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. One moment, I will be right back. Sorry about that. He yanks at a lock of hair twined around his silk-gloved fingers. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
Your child is missing, I take it?
Yes, Lady Alice, my daughter. I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
I do mind. My lord, a simple vagabond. If you find her, tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my Elise, my child, is saved. Nothing in the world is more important to me. I'd like to ask you a few questions about her.
Elise, of course.
Describe her. She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than to me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now. Tell me about her disappearance. We'd stopped in Deerford for a few days. On our fourth evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Elise was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found that she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one at the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. Why did you come to Deerford? It was merely a stop along the way to Aena's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days to recover. What's in Aena's Rest? Lady Elise has reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many Hollowborn. Where's the rest of your family? Surely they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Haronde is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately Elise has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband have been visiting Adir these past months. And as for siblings, Elise has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn, since Elise, that is. Alright. There's Nifri. The Orlan hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? Someone told me you were responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Let me guess, was that someone named Medrith? It's a lie, plain and simple. I've got on the wrong side of his employers, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy on you. Relax, I just wanted to hear your side of the story. What story? The Dominals came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? It was an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now. And if you spoke with Medrith, you know where he's waiting. Please help me get out of here. Go east. Medrith's waiting for you just west of the river. Alright, I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. That should buy me some more time. She follows the hooded figures towards the stairs, giving you a final uncertain glance as she passes through the door. Direct Medrith away from Nifri. Alright.
Hail, traveler.
Found Nifri yet? I'm ready to get out of here. She snuck out the back. Yes, and I let her go. Don't worry, I'll catch up to her right after I take care of you. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Following your...
Don't mess with me. Fine great sword, brigandine. Ooh. Fine warbow, mace, stiletto. Fine medium shield heater. I don't know what that means. Whoa, that's quite a bit of money. Look at this bow. Not for you. +4 accuracy, +15. So it's more damage, same fine attributes, so yeah.
Hey.
Grumble. Galawain's slobbering beasts, blazing bloody effigy, thrice damned salty wench, and her soggy. What's wrong? That monster stole my pigs, traipsed into the village, tore down my pen, and made off with the whole herd. Just left a few little runts, and what am I supposed to do with them? Calm down and tell me what happened. Wife's always telling me to mind my temper, just breathe deep and count to 10. An ogre moved into the area not long ago. Folk had been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the wood, but it seemed to be staying away from town. Or so we all thought until it made it off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid it's going to develop a taste for kith, if it hasn't already. Did you see the ogre take your pigs? What else would have destroyed my pen and made off with my herd? And at the same time, the rest of the village is seeing a 10-foot monster in the forest. I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but it had set my mind at ease to see that thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, you bring its ugly pate to me, and I'll trade you for something that's of less use to a farmer like me than to a rowdy-looking sort like yourselves. Seen any sign of Elise Haran? Or what do you know about the ogre? It's the same as any other, I'm sure. A big, ugly SOB with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Trigil could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the wood. You can find him in the shop right by the broken tower. Seen any sign of Elise Haran? How many times do I have to repeat myself? I already told those snooping guards I haven't seen her, but that hasn't kept them from nosing around my property.
Hey.
All right, then.
Gods keep you.
Haven't seen you before. Always glad to see a new face in town. Company's good for business and chatter's good for the soul. That's what I always say. Anyhow, what can I do for you? Looking for Elise. That lord's got you asking around too, eh? At least you ask politely enough. Bad enough having a small army move into town, but then they start throwing their weight around and yelling, telling you your business. That's the problem with these lords. They think their money and their family name entitle them to some kind of special treatment. They expect everyone to fawn over them the way their servants do. No, sir, that's not the kind of people we are, not in the Deerwood. We broke away from Adir to get away from that kind of nonsense. If they think... I certainly understand why you feel that way, but at the moment I'm just looking for a daughter. Of course. I was just getting to her. I haven't seen her, not since she went missing anyway. She mostly kept to herself, but you know how women are, always carrying on, full of palaver once you get any two of them together. Perfectly harmless, mind you. I'm not criticizing. Just feels like they never run out of things to say. That girl seemed rather quiet, downright shy if I do say so. But even Hindina got her talking. Just goes to show you. Nina's an alchemist, runs a small stand near the center of town. Talented lady, but she had a run-in with some worms not long ago. She's lucky it wasn't that ogre that's been roaming about. It took all of Rumball's pigs the other day, did you hear? But don't get him started, he's still sore about the subject. And once you get him wound up about that ogre and his pigs, he just won't stop talking. Show me what you have for sale. Alrighty. This middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. Her hands are working at separating stringy, colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off the long fibrous stems with a paring knife. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a small cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. Excuse me? The woman doesn't respond. She keeps stripping the heads from the vegetables with a steady rhythm. She may be deaf. There's no indication she heard you. Study the woman. At first glance, she seemed nothing more than a middle-aged woman, unremarkable, maybe less stern than most, who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. She still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her. Even the motions of her hands seem to be playing with threads that lack color, in a shape that lacks interest. It may be that she's half-minded or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch, her knitting takes on an odd cadence, and you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Focus. Her brown hair is long, almost impossibly to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downward, the hairs become long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver, and wrapping around her hands. She is forming a soul cradle with the threads, braiding a net in front of her as you reach each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together with silver predominating as a highlight, the black shadowing it. And suddenly you are calm. You're on a plateau, almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky. And beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist, although whether it is actual mist or distance or a recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arc above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you and the event unfolding before you. The plateau has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body. Your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. Excuse me. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts, like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber. And the chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You're on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering like Adra. The plateau is formed of it glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, your hands are in motion. Weaving, not threading, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Barath's wheel. Your hands are wet, your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head, turning in your grip, its head slick but from the womb. The hands you are wearing, inhabiting, have done this many times, and they are practiced and competent. You can feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing crying out. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort. Of that you are certain. And coaxed by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again. Almost eagerly, the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope. No, an umbilical cord from the legs of the naked woman before you. You are holding a small child, still wet from the womb, before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul. The ringing of chimes echoes in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, the hands reach out for it. Surrender the child. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrist. and where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world. A small, soothing sound, guided by the tender motions of your wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. But the child is here, the child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distance, flattening out as the memory persists. With effort, the scene bleeds of color, and your mind becomes your own again. There is no pull, no anchor, yet the sound of the chimes remains. As they existed in the memory, they sound here as well, and they are hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the woman before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes on her wrist is sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you first saw. She is wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled watchtower. As she lifts her head to face you, you see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize what you see is not what the world sees, and you are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at last be seen. Who are you?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There's a light touched on your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the torch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrists. Softly, her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. A cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm. The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
I encountered a bivouac, yes, and it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chime sounding softly once again. The woman stands certainly, as if she had been sitting for some time, or is too weak to bear her own weight. You noticed her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt, yet while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It is almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her, the image on the plateau. If the image was so clear, so sharp, you're surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift. A watcher's gift.
I've never been able to do that with a living person, except with you.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There's a silence, and although it seems to last for but a heartbeat, in your thoughts, it stretches out between the two of you like a pull between your minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question, yet can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful. Or there simply aren't enough pieces. Do you wish to travel with me? You feel a wave of fear, gusted with the strength of relief, although oddly, her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from your memory lies beneath you, and a calm sky looks down upon you. Cipher. I will have to do some looking to see what a cipher is.
Hey.
All right. And with that, I'm going to call it for the day. That was a lot of text to read, and I need to go anyway. Thanks to everyone who is watching, and you can follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/quarteragegamer. I appreciate it, and that will let you know when I'm streaming next. YouTube.com/quarteragegamer. I post all of my videos there, and I keep them in hopefully an ordered playlist. I have one for Pillars, and you can find that down below in one of my channel panels. And twitter.com/quarteragegamer. I tweet not frequently, but I tweet every so often, just on video game stuff that I find interesting. If you want to follow me there. All right. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.